Hey guys, we're going to be installing Windows Server, and we're also going to be changing some settings on Proxmox. First, we're going to have to put the IP address of the Proxmox server, followed by the 8006 port, and then we're also going to have to put the username as root, and then the password we set on this from the last video. Now, don't worry about this pop-up. We can just push OK. Now we go to our data center. And with the data center, we could go to storage. And then we can notice that there's two different storage places. There's LVM and then there's local. And they have two different capacities. So if we go down to LVM, we actually don't need this. So we could get rid of it by going to data center, storage, and then click on here. And then we could push remove. Yep. The remove buttons by the add right there. Yep. And just make sure that we clicked on the local LVM. That's making sure that we're deleting the right one. We don't want to delete the wrong one, you know. Now, there's also some shell commands that we need to put in. So let's go to test center and go to shell. And there's three commands that we actually need to put in. So let's put our first command, lv remove, and then slash dev slash pve slash data. Let's run that. Make sure that we for sure want to run it with Y. And now we have to do our next one, lv resize 2fs slash dev. Actually, I don't think this is the right command. Let's go back. I think that's our next command actually. So let's go back. I think it's resize. Yes, dash L. And then it's 100. Oh no, plus 100%. Then capitalize free. And then it's the destination slash dev slash PVE slash root. Nice, nice. And now our third command, resize 2fs slash dev slash mapper slash PVE dash root. And then there's our three commands. Now all of our storage should be allocated to our local. That's all we did there. And now we want to go to our local and make sure that now it's not 50 gigs, it's now 167. Nice. Now that we have all that figured out, we'll check our permissions. So go to data center, storage, click on our local, and then click edit. And then we could check to see what types of things we could do on this hard disk. So we want to make sure that we can do containers or disk images, ISO images, everything a VM's going to need. We don't need a container for a VM per se, but I wanted to show you that that's how we set this up. We could do advanced settings, but for this we only need basic. Now we're going to set our ISO image. We're going to upload them so we don't have to use a USB ever again. So we're going to upload. And in this case, I'm going to show you guys how to put Windows 11 Enterprise on here as well as Windows Server. We're not going to use Windows Enterprise on this server. We're going to create a different server that's a client server. So yeah, I'm going to choose my Windows 11 Enterprise and we're going to upload. And it's going to take a minute. And once it's finished, you're going to get a big text. It looks like an error message or something, but it's just confirming that it did it when it did. So we could just exit out of here. And then we go to yeah, refresh it. There we go. We see the image, and then we can select Windows Server and upload. So now this is going to take about 7 to 8 gigs away from us, from the 100 gigs that we gave it. Or 160. Alright, now that it is done, it's don't worry that that's not in the list. We just gotta refresh just like we did before. And then once it's refreshed, we get them both on the list. Now we could do a install for Windows Server. We go to test server because that's where we want it. We want to create a VM at the top. That's where create container is as well, right next to it. We want to make sure that we name it Windows Server 2025, and then we press next. Oh, it doesn't like spaces. We gotta remove all the spaces from here, and then it lets us do it. Now we gotta find the image that we want to use. Luckily, we just added it, so Windows Server is this one, and we make sure that it's Microsoft Server type. And then we could push next, or Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Server. And now this is where we allocated its storage. That's the local we chose, and then the TPM storage as well. After all those settings are correct, we're push next. And then this is how much gigs you want to give it. I want to give it about 100. I think that's be perfect for me. You could do smaller. You don't have to do as big as I am. Now here's when we where we could set the CPU settings, like the sockets and the cores. You can make these numbers any number that you want it to be. Will it work? Probably not. You want to check your documentation on your CPU and see what it allows. So, like, if you can see how I'm just playing with the settings, you could literally make it anything you want. I'm gonna do 404. I know this is gonna fail, but I want to show you how it reacts. So if you noticed, after we did that, it didn't start up right away. And if we look at the cluster log at the bottom, it's just pending. It's wanting to try to start, but it's not. So what happens when we full screen it, and then we're gonna make it start. Just gonna click the button a few times. Oh, see, it automatically fails. Let's try it again. Oh, now we can see an error message in the cluster log, and we see another one as well. This is happening because we don't have the correct CPU cores or sockets labeled. So if we could change that in the hardware settings, we could change it back and make it actually work. These are the errors that are presenting us. It just says that max for CPUs is allowed per VM on this node. So we're going to go to the hardware and change that. So at 4.4 right here, let's change this to 4.2 and see if that works. Let's start. And that didn't look like it worked either. So let's try that again. Let's reduce the sockets a bit more as well. And let's try that. And success. Now we can go to our console and see it boot up. At this point, we want to push any key. Just wait for it to pop up. It might take a few minutes. There we go. Then we go to boot manager. We want to make sure we boot from the DVD-ROM, not the hard disk. There we go. And then once that is all up, it will go to our Windows Server installation screen. This is just like a normal Windows install now. So just keep going to install Windows Server. I agree, everything will be deleted. And then we want to pick the desktop experience on standard. Yep, 225. That's the one we want, just because we want a graphical interface. We want to accept the conditions. And here we go. There's the 100 gigs that we allocated for this. Now we'll do its install. Now we just gotta wait a few minutes. It might restart a couple of times, but that is okay. Just let it do its thing and it will be done. Here's the first restart. Now it's gonna be installing. Nice. Now we can put our password information that we wish to choose. Once we got that, we could go forward. And here we go. To open it and to unlock it, we have to do Control Alt Delete to unlock. To do this on Proxmox, there is some certain hotkeys right here. You can press see it has Control Alt Delete, but the bottom one right here, not that one, the very bottom right here, you could actually do all three of them at the same time. So if we just push that one, it unlocks. Now we can put the password that we just set. And it's going to do all its first time startup. Now here's a bunch of things that they're going to ask you. They could include optional. We're just going to skip all that. Because we're going to be setting this up and configuring it to exactly how we like. Here is a pop-up that's telling us to try Windows Admin Center for Azure Arc today. We won't be using that right now because we're just wanting to learn Active Directory. Yeah, thanks for joining this video. In the next videos, we will be covering how to set up Active Directory, setting up just Windows Server in general, and then in other videos, we're making some users and connecting to it.